Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to Ginger Nation. If you are new here, I'm Anna.
I'm Caitlin.
So today we're going to be reading some scary stories that Caitlin found online. I haven't read these. I don't think Caitlin has read them either, so we're just going to go right into it.
Yeah, I just kind of skimmed them.
Yeah, I'm going to read one story and then Caitlin's going to read another one.
Yeah.
And do you want to go first?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay, so this one is called Annie96 is Typing. And these I found online. I think most of them are on like Reddit. So yeah, the creepiest chat history you'll ever read. While playing around with WhatsApp, I stumbled across a weird chat history between two people I don't know. When I tried to find it again, the app crashed and kept crashing. Luckily, I managed to make a copy. Here it is.
Okay.
Okay, so this is, I'm gonna have Anna read the other person because it is a chat.
Okay.
So I'll be Annie96.
Okay, you'll be Annie96 and
yeah. McDavie?
I love being a man.
Okay, so
okay.
Annie96,
okay.
1:31. You asleep?
No, guess you're not either.
Can't. It's the wind. Sounds like cats fighting. What's your excuse?
Studying.
So that's what they call porn now?
Annie, what the F?
Not denying it.
I'm typing. I still can't believe what Johnny did today.
Me neither. That boy has issues. WTF, the wind's so loud. That doesn't sound normal. LOL.
No wind over here, just rain.
Lucky you. I need my beauty sleep.
Damn right you do. Winky face.
I think I heard footsteps on the gravel outside.
Get your crazy dad to check it out.
I'm home alone. The fam are on holiday. Remember I told you this?
Really? Till when? We should hang out.
They really sound like footsteps, but there's something odd about them. I should look out the window, but my bed is so warm.
Sure you want to look out the window when you're alone? What if there really is someone there in your garden looking up at you?
Why are you gonna say that? Not funny, David.
Wow, chill. I'm sure it's nothing.
Gonna check. BRB. Annie96 typing. David, there's someone in the garden.
What, really?
Yes, I can see a man's back.
What's he doing?
He's looking for something. On his hands and knees in the bushes.
Haha, he must be high. Probably looking for his drugs.
David, this is serious. What should I do?
Nothing? He'll probably go away by himself.
Oh my god, now he's digging with his bare hands. He's ruining the garden!
Oh no! The tulips!
He's turning around.
What does he look like?
David, WTF, this isn't funny.
What?
How are you doing that?
What are you talking about? Oh my god, now I'm getting scared.
I can see that it's you. In my garden. How are you riding here without touching your phone? Look up. I'm by the window. Can you hear me banging on it?
F, Annie. Now you're scaring me too. I'm definitely not in your garden. That's not me.
Stop playing around. I can see your face and you're wearing that stupid football jacket you're so proud of.
It must be someone who looks like me. Honestly, Annie, I'm at home. I wouldn't play around like that.
It has to be a friend of yours, David, playing a sick prank. How else could he be wearing your jacket?
I'm getting scared. There are loads of jackets like that. My friends don't look anything like me. You just have me on your mind.
He's digging again. Effing leave already!
Annie, do you have a gun in your house?
Don't be stupid, David. I couldn't shoot anyone.
You don't have to use it. Just show that that you're carrying.
Doesn't that jacket have your name on the back?
Yeah, the team all got one with their name on.
I can see your effing name.
What? Annie, that jacket's in my closet.
He's seen me. Why is he smiling like that? He's coming.
Call the cops.
What was that?
Oh my god! Annie! Annie, pick up. I've called the cops. Told them there's a break-in attempt at your place. They said they're on their way, but it'll take about half an hour. Annie, are you there?
It's in the house. Can't talk. I have to be quiet. Lights off. I'm in the closet with a knife. Hard to type. Shaking too much.
Hang in there, Annie. The police will be there in 20 minutes. Do you know where he is?
Not he. The look it had when it saw me, David. No person can look like that.
Jesus Christ, does it know where you are?
No, I grabbed the knife when I saw it running towards the house, and I got in the closet when I heard it breaking in.
Oh good, you'll be fine. A druggie doesn't have the brains to find someone hiding in the closet. The police will be there soon.
Oh God, it's calling out to me. It doesn't sound like you, David. Its voice is so deep. Filling the house. Filling my head.
What is he saying?
No, why do I have to read that?
Come out, Annie. I just want to look at you.
It keeps repeating that over and over. Have I gone mad, David? Is this what that feels like?
Just 10 more minutes, Annie. Keep it together. You are so strong, you will get through this.
It's coming up the stairs, but so slowly. Irregular steps. Why does it look like you, David? Why you?
I don't know, Annie. Please believe me.
My eyes like watery.
Are you okay?
Yeah. The story's getting to me, guys. Can you make it stop? Please make it stop.
I would if I could, I promise you.
It's at the end of the hall. David, I didn't say anything to my parents when they left. I was listening to music. Is that the last time I see them?
Annie.
This has something to do with you, David. Only you can make it stop. Think fast.
I don't know, Annie. God, please. It might be because I think about you so much. I think about you all the time.
So stop.
I don't know how.
It's scraping something on the wall. It's getting closer. Please, David.
I'm trying so hard.
It's slowing down. Try harder. Whatever you're doing, it's working. It stopped. I can't hear anything.
Really? Don't go out yet. Stay put until the police get there.
What should I tell him if he's gone?
Everything, Annie. Everything you told me.
I didn't know you felt that way about me, David.
I'm so glad it stopped.
Can you come over in the morning, David? I really need to see you.
Of course, Annie. I'll be there.
Great. Can't wait.
Annie? Annie, how do I know this is you?
I went offline.
Whoa.
That's the end.
What was that about?
Whoa. I know you guys couldn't see, but like when we're reading the story,
The phone
the
glitched.
phone would glitch. Like the messengers, because like it's like it'll tell you like, oh, it's typing. It's kind of like you're looking at what the chat is going on, so like it would glitch. I think that's why my eyes were like so watering. Like I was getting scared. I was like,
Please tell me my phone is not messing up.
That was scary.
that was creepy. That one gave me chills, and I'm gonna erase it from
So
my memory.
was it David?
Was it? I don't really get it.
I don't know.
Leave us some comments down below what you thought about
what
the story.
did you think? And who was it? And was that really Annie? Was it? We don't know.
I know. That was
Oh
scary.
my god, that was cool. Okay, I'm gonna be reading I Catered a Dead Bride's Wedding.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be reading part 1. Let's do this. I feel like I'm back in school. Okay. I used to I used to cater weddings when I was in college. It didn't pay that great and people could be rude, but I was broke and I needed the money. I was also really nosy and loved looking inside of people's houses, which in hindsight probably didn't help this experience along. One day, right before winter break, my roommate, Amanda, offered me the chance to help cater a wedding in a villa. Villa just means big fancy house in my eyes, but Amanda liked to stress the differences in the house types. Her aunt, who owned the company, needed an extra hand, and Amanda had put in a good word for me.
How nice.
I said yes. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to afford my tuition, so this really was a no-brainer. Not only did the job pay 3 times my normal rate, but it also came with the requirement that we stay on the grounds. Amanda's family was friends with the bride's family, and so she had arranged for us to stay in the house's old servant quarters. It was supposed to be a 3-day event, and travel was included, so I was really excited. Well, my nosy instinct was excited. I should have realized that there was something wrong with this offer, But I was a kid in college and needed money, so ignorance is bliss, I guess. I was exhausted by the time we got to the house. It had been a whole day of travel and a long drive from the airport. All I wanted to do at that point was curl up on a bed and go to sleep. We got a tour of the house instead. It was huge, 4 floors, dozens of rooms, and a pair of large staircases that divided the house in half. There was so much room beneath the staircases, which created a landing by themselves that you could put a long dining table there. And that was exactly what was supposed to happen for the rehearsal dinner. In fact, the table had already been set up and easily sat at least 50 people.
Wow. It's a big table.
I know. Amanda's aunt insisted that we meet with the family, have a quick discussion about how the rehearsal dinner was going to be presented, and then we could grab a bite to eat and go to bed. Since she was paying me, I didn't argue. I mean, this whole event was going to cover the gap in my tuition, so no sense in starting a fight. I met the old man and his daughter up in the library on the 3rd floor. It was obvious that Ella was close to her father and that they had a very long, loving relationship. Amanda told me later that Ella's mother, Elise, died in a fire in the conservatory when she was quite young, and that Robert only got over it because Ella was around to see him through it. Ella getting married was a bittersweet moment for them both, but Robert was very proud of Ella. She had just graduated from law school and had just taken a job at the metropolitan city nearby. She was going to start a new life, and he couldn't be happier. After we met with the family, we went downstairs to the kitchen, which was bigger than my parents' entire house. It was so big you could yell across the room and people still might not hear what you're saying. It was also weird. The kitchen was situated on a back corner of the house. One entire wall of the kitchen was bare. There was nothing. Not even a table to cut vegetables on or anything. It was also obviously where the house's conservatory used to sit. I say obvious because there was still fire markings all over this particular wall. It literally looked like a fire had just taken place. The wall singed, and there were parts where you could see inside the wall. And it looked like there had been cabinets there at one point that had been removed, but nothing had been replaced. The floor-to-ceiling windows, too, looked like they'd just been in a fire. The panes were melted and warped, as though they'd been licked by flames. Even the curtains that hung on either side were singed, running from pristine white to charcoal. When I walked up to the windows and looked over the lawn, I could plainly see the outline of the old conservatory. The grass hadn't grown back, and it was just a patch of dead grass. To me, it was almost as if I could see the ghost of the building. Almost like it wanted to see it. Amanda noticed it too, and we talked about it when we got upstairs. She said that she'd been to the house before, but never to the kitchen, so she didn't have an explanation. She also didn't understand why the grass next to the kitchen hadn't grown over, but she figured maybe Robert was going to rebuild it. I was so creeped out, but I'll be honest, I was making enough money that it didn't bother me enough to leave. I mean, it was weird and sad because I knew the bride's mother died in the conservatory, and then, boom, it's like I can feel the building is still there. But what was I going to do? Leave? Because the kitchen is a bit suspect? We went to bed around 10. Amanda went to sleep before me, and I settled in around 11. That's pretty early for me, but I passed out right away. Around 3:30 in the morning, I wake up to a scream. One turned into 2, which morphed into 3, and by the time I had woken up enough to realize that I wasn't dreaming, it sounded like the house was drowning in screams. I turned to look at Amanda, who was just as awake and just as confused as I was. The low, long wail was the thing that made us leave the room. We got lost in the house a couple times, but we managed to find the screaming after we bumped into Amanda's aunt. It was coming from Ella's room. I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea, but I walked into this woman's bedroom without permission. I walked in because I needed to know what the wailing was about. I needed an answer. There, on the floor of the bedroom, sat Robert. This tall, lanky man, hair as white as plaster, was holding his daughter in his arms. He was the source of the wail. And Ella? Ella was gone. She had passed. I mean, that was obvious. Her eyes were glassed over, body rigid like a doll's, skin as pale and translucent as tissue paper. There was just a trail of blood coming from her nose, leaving a trail down her neck and onto the carpet. I just had a second to see this because Amanda's aunt grabbed me and pulled me out of the room. She closed the door behind us. I thought I was going to get yelled at. Instead, she looked scared and told Amanda and me to go back to our rooms, and she would come get us when she knew what was going on. Oh, this is a lot of rain. It's crazy though, right? Wow. Then she turned around and walked down the staircase. Amanda and I went back to our room. We didn't really talk about what had just happened. There wasn't much to say. It was clear the wedding wasn't going to happen, so that meant there was no reason for us to be there. We just went to bed because there was nothing else to do. But the next morning, things were different. The next morning, it was like everyone had forgotten what had happened the night before. Everyone except for me. Because when I woke up and went downstairs, nothing had changed. Amanda's aunt was running around the kitchen, starting prep for the dinner. Amanda had gone to town to get some extra supplies, and the house was still getting prepared for the rehearsal dinner. When I asked Amanda's aunt about Ella, she was quiet for a moment. She kind of looked surprised that I brought it up. Then she told me that Ella had been brought back to life by some quick-thinking EMTs, that she had some sort of allergic reaction and had gone into shock, but the EMTs had brought her back. While Ella had been told to go to the hospital, she had refused because she wanted to go on with the wedding, and her father agreed. Whoa! Trouble was, there was no EMTs at the house at all the night before. No sirens, no flashing lights, no quick-thinking EMTs, nothing. And while it was possible for Ella to have died and been brought to life, it would have had to been done in under 10 minutes. Anything after that, and Ella would have been brain dead in the best possible circumstances. 10 minutes is the absolute limit that a human being can go without oxygen to their brain. That's actually true. When I saw Ella, she was already in rigor mortis. Her eyes were glassed over. She had been dead for a while. None of this made sense. But Amanda's aunt told me not to worry about it and move on. I left the kitchen to go back into my room, thinking about how maybe I was overreacting about what happened the night before. I didn't get a great look at everything, so it was possible that Amanda's aunt was right. After all, she didn't have any reason to lie. That's when I ran into Ella. Ella, she was in the servants' quarters, wearing the same nightgown she had on the night before, the flecks of blood still on the strap, smiling at me, asking me if I was lost. It wasn't the fact that she was right in front of my room wearing the clothes that she died and was revived in, smiling at me. The fact that I knew she was still dead. She was dead and something was trying to wear her like a skin, like a dress that was too tight. It bulged within Ella's skin, hands hovering over her head like she was a marionette. It wasn't human, but it desperately wanted to be. And it wanted to know if I knew what it was. Dun dun dun. I was scared. That was scary. Ken's gonna read part 2.
Guys, I didn't really look, and there's actually 5 parts to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Go for it.
Part 2. Ella was blocking my ways to my room. She was just standing there, staring right through me, her eyes half closed. Her skin was stretched to the point of splitting at the seams, and she seemed to have a gray hue to her face. Her hair was matted and stuck to her face, which she didn't seem to even notice. And the area around Ella seemed darker than the rest of the corridor, which, by the way, had floor-to-ceiling windows on the left-hand side. Long, dark limbs seemed to fill the space between her and the walls of the corridor, stretching out like wings. Even with the morning light blinding my eyes when I stared through the window, there was near blackness around Ella. We both stood quietly for a few moments. I knew that I looked shocked to see her, and I tried to cover it up, but I guess I shouldn't have bothered. It's not like she noticed. When she finally spoke, she seemed to ask normal questions. Did she scare me last night? Was I alright to continue working on the rehearsal dinner? Wow, they still put it.
I know.
Did I need anything? Was my stay comfortable aside from the fact that I saw her lying dead on the floor at 3:30 a.m.? Alright, the last one wasn't a question she asked, but it might as well have been. Because when she spoke, her voice echoed. Her voice came out, and then a lower, meaner voice followed a half second behind her. That's terrifying.
Whoa.
And when she asked her questions, she was smiling with a mouth full of daggers, each point ready to tear apart my answers. I managed to act somewhat normal and told her that I was fine. I'd be staying. Thanks for asking after me, and I had to get ready for the day. Then I hoped in my head that she would walk away so I could walk back into my room, which at that point I thought was still safe. Well, the room's not safe. Ella finally ended the conversation and moved to go downstairs. As she walked past me, the scent of moldy garbage followed her like a veil, and in her wake there was a humid, heavy feeling that weighed in the air. I watched her walk down the stairs when it happened. The whisper. I'm not gonna whisper though. I'm not gonna whisper. It's not what it seems. It will take you. Get out.
Whoa.
Okay. The voice was feminine, older, wiser. It was low and calming. I turned my head to the right where the voice was coming from and smelled the faint smell of perfume. A vintage kind, the one with musk and vanilla. Oh, pretty vintage. But I saw nothing. I walked back into my room and sat down on my bed. For the next half hour, I tried to decide whether I was staying or leaving. On one hand, I just had a conversation with a dead woman who had some weird, non-human thing trying to live inside her, and I was pretty sure that a ghost inside the house was warning me to leave. On the other hand, I was broke, and if I didn't stay, I wouldn't be able to pay my tuition or my rent, both of which I was already late on. I knew it was a stupid decision, but I stayed. In my mind, I didn't have a choice. I also thought that I only had 2 more days, so I would be okay. I can make it 2 more days. So I got dressed, went downstairs, and went to work. By the time I got downstairs, we were already behind on prep. Amanda and I spent the entire morning prepping the vegetables and the meat. We were so busy that we were the last ones to take our lunch break. We decided to eat outside on the patio right next to the kitchen. There was a small area with a table and some chairs where a few people could sit and look over the lawn, and there was shade. So it was a great place to eat. Amanda and I sat there for about 10 minutes just talking before she realized that she had left her phone inside. I heard the voice again when Amanda went back inside. You're running out of time.
What did you say like that?
I don't know.
You sound like you're crying.
Because it's scary.
Okay, keep going.
I got the chills. So did I.
Just do it, Sam.
I got the chills because I knew now that the voice I was hearing wasn't in my head. It wasn't Ella's mom who had died there. It wasn't. Yeah, okay. It was Ella. Oh.
Whoa.
I got up from the table and walked towards where I heard the voice. It was coming from the dead grass. The grass where the conservatory used to sit. I used to have experiences when I was a kid. Vivid ones. Ones that I wish that I could forget, about monsters and demons and the little devils that go bump in the night. But they never truly left me. Even though I survived, those experiences are still haunting me. So I did the only thing I knew to do. Something that I always worked when I was a kid. I stood in the middle of the patch, closed my eyes, and willed Ella to talk to me again. I listened. Nothing happened. I stood there for 5 minutes and nothing happened. No breeze, no cold air, no whisper, nothing. I opened my eyes and turned around. There in front of me was Ella. She was dressed in a beautiful yellow sundress, wearing a hat, her hair and makeup done, but she still looked dead to me. She was standing at the edge of the dead grass, staring at me. She wanted me to come closer, but I only moved a few feet. I wasn't going anywhere near her more than that. I see you, was the only thing she said to me before smiling and showing me her daggers. I didn't say anything. I just watched as she turned the corner of the house and disappeared. I didn't realize that Amanda was calling to me until she had put her hand on my shoulder to tell me it was time to go back inside. As I walked inside, something told me to look up. I don't know why I did it, but maybe it's because in the back of my mind I knew that my room was 2 floors above the kitchen. Maybe I wanted to see what was there. And in the window with the curtains down, I could see Ella's ghost, still wearing the nightgown she died in, standing next to an older woman who looked just like her, Elise. Ella's hands were on the window and looked like she was yelling something. I waved, and the second she realized I could see her, she and her mom began banging on the window. I'm getting chills.
This is so creepy.
A second later, something pulled them back from the window and the curtains replaced their silhouettes. I knew at this point I would have to tell Amanda. Even though she hasn't had any of the experiences I have, she would at least hear me out. She helped me find a reason for what was going on, or at the very least, help me rationalize my experiences to agree where I could feel comfortable. But there was no time to do that before the rehearsal dinner. We had to shower, change, and get ready for the dinner within 3 hours, and we had 4 hours of work to do. So I waited. I wish I hadn't, but I did, because by the time the dinner came around, it was too late. The game had already started, and the groom was next.
Whoa. That's crazy. I can't wait for the next part.
I know, me too. Oh my goodness.
That was creepy.
I had chills reading that. I was scared. I was like
The
shaking.
ending is just already like.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. I know, me too. Find out next time.
Alright, you guys. That was part 1 and part 2. If you want to know what happens next in part 3 and 4, make sure you do subscribe so that you will get notified when we upload the next ones.
Yes.
And if you liked it,
please give it a big thumbs up. That helps us. Make sure to leave in the comments what you think is going to happen in the next couple parts of the stories.
and what did you think about the first one?
What did you think about Annie.96 typing?
And David, what was all that about?
I know.
Was it David really in the house? Was it really Annie? What did you think?
Let us know. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye, guys.